This is where we get to get it wrong. This is where we get to be messy. This is where there is no right choice. There's just what you see differently and what you choose to do differently with it. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, my loves. Welcome. Happy New Year. Oh my goodness, I really feel this ending of 2024 so differently than any other end of a year. It really feels like something big is happening, something deeper, something incredible that we can't see yet. Like I felt it like the closing of a chapter and the opening of something new. So I love that this call today that I'm here sharing with you feels so powerful and so potent and really speaks to beliefs and reality and what we are creating. Karey is here with us and she is going through a spiritual awakening and is looking for insights on how to handle both her awakening life and her 3D life. And what I love about this call is you see Karey really grasp a place that she has been struggling with. And you see how it flips everything for her. The way she's been looking at a situation is through one lens. And when information comes in for her, she can see a whole new reality. And from that, she can do something differently moving forward. Here we are, the beginning of a new year. Everything is possible. And I think in these times that we're in, hope is something so important to cultivate. And also your own light, right? Your own relationship with your darkness in devotion to your light. Your relationship with the parts of yourself that you hide, with the parts that you're blinded to see, right? We all have them. And the magical process that I have experienced and see time and time again in the people that I work with is that when you are willing to look into the darkness, into the scary places, into the places that you wish away, there is a new reality waiting for you just on the other side. So in this reading, Karey and I look at the problems inherent in our need to get things right. We talk about the effect of shifting from Christianity to spirituality and how this changes the dynamic with your friends and family and what you can do about that. We dive deep into how your beliefs not only construct your reality, but also are the primary safety mechanisms in your physical body and are connected to your need to be loved. And this is why those deep-seated beliefs can be so tricky and they can need so much love and nurturing and so much connection and observation, is because they really come down to safety and love. And when those things are jeopardized, everything in you is going to scream, no, do not go there. Do not look there. And yet, time and time again, this is where the freedom that you are seeking lies. We also look at untangling judgment and the power of your projections and how to see something different. So as you are embracing this brand new year, as you are diving deep in yourself on this spiritual journey with a whole landscape, a tapestry spreading out in front of you, I ask you, what are you going to weave into this? What goodness are you going to bring to yourself this year? I'd love to hear from you and share in your progress and your dreams and all the things. Before we dive into the call, I'd love to share with you that we are gifting our Unlocking Your Purpose program for free for the next couple of weeks as you are exploring what this new year brings for you. I have always found that setting intentions is great, but we need something underneath to drive it. So many times, right? By the end of January, all our intentions are out the window. We haven't even stuck to them for the month. And I think this is because we don't have the tools underneath. We haven't set the foundation necessary for us to hold our intentions in a way that's possible and in a way that's supportive of us. And so we just give up because willpower alone cannot get you where you want to go. So Unlocking Your Purpose is designed to give you the tools for the foundation. So then you can build those intentions from a place of truth and authenticity. And like I said, we're gifting this to you this new year. There's a link in the show notes. Use coupon code RITUAL2025 at checkout to get this program for free because I love you. And I'm glad that you're here on this journey because it takes all of us to change the world. It takes all of us to make a difference. So thank you. Hi, Karey. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for having me. I would love insight into navigating the spiritual awakening within my body and my awareness while I'm still trying to navigate a third dimensional reality. I find that I want to analyze my spiritual process to the point that I think it sometimes slows me down.
Yeah. So as you're talking, when I feel into you, there is a nervousness, there's a panic. And I get, right, we're on this call, we're recording, but it's deeper than that. It's the part of you that is incessantly poking at you of why you feel you have to analyze. Our overstimulation of the mind comes from like our nervous system, right? And the way that our body is functioning in the world. So, like, how do you relate to that?
So, like, as you're speaking, I'm like, well, yeah, because I don't want to get it wrong. It's that feeling of what if I'm doing it wrong or I missed the boat or I'm, chasing the wrong thing. The first major part of my life, I was in a belief system that I exited. And when I exited, I realized I was all in on that one. So how do I know I'm on the right path now? There's a certain just wanting to make sure that I get it right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you say that, right? So, needing to get it right is not just a personal wound, it is very much a human wound that we're sitting inside of. And especially if you have lived part of your life, quote unquote, in a wrong decision, then you can have a heightened awareness around getting it right. So, what I see in you, right, is even though you have untangled yourself from whatever that was that you were engaged with, there's still part of your energetic structure that is still caught in there. And so, what can be really helpful, like, how much work have you done with your beliefs and your programs and patterns and sort of that unconscious behavior that we engage in?
Besides looking at it, like when you ask that question, I'm not sure how to answer it. Like, besides looking at it, untangling it myself, having healing sessions with other people, and which they've all been valuable. The whole process has been valuable.
Yeah. I mean, anytime we take a moment and go deeper with ourselves, right, and reflect on our journey and dive deeper into this sort of otherworldly part of us, magic happens and we find freedom, and there's this greater sense that opens up in us. Where how I see it is it's like implanted in your nervous system. There's these beliefs. So I don't know, do you feel like you want to share any more about that part of your life or anything you that's coming up for you that you feel could be relevant?
I just came from a very conservative Christian background. And, I just never want to shine anything, or I never want to dismiss that as valuable for someone who still might be on that path. But when I left that path, that's a path that often includes families, and sometimes it's generational and it's all your friends. So when you walk away from that, you walk away from a lot. And there are areas of my life probably where I still have, I don't know if it's anxiety. Talking about it probably makes me anxious, but inside I'm like, I don't know how to navigate some of these relationships that aren't going to go away. They're family, but how do I be me and be honestly me and still walk beside these people that I love, and their path is still very meaningful to them?
Yeah. So the more that you clean it up in you, it's the judgment piece, right? Of like, there's part of you that's still judging that path. Like, even though you say, like, it's correct for others, which is entirely true, it's not correct for you. Yet there's this thread of judgment that still lives within you. And I don't say that in a bad way. Like, it's a protective mechanism. Like, the way I see your central channel, you've got these giant, well, they're not giant, but like giant in the sense of like bigger than you, but they're really big in your central channel and they're clamped shut. And it's like, this is what's holding your nervous system. And it's from the beliefs that were given to you at these very younger, impressionable times in your life. And so even though grown up you has said, okay, this is not for me, your little girl is like, well, I don't know, because I'm still caught in there. I built my foundation around these beliefs. This is how I stayed safe. This is how I was loved. This is how I was in community. This is how I connected to my family. And now you want me to throw that all away? So your little girl is like at odds with you. Also, right? So our little girl can be the consciousness that inhabits our spaces still, but there's also an energetic body that was built around those beliefs. And now you're saying to your energetic body that you want to throw it all away as well. And your energetic body is like, no, no, this is how we survive. I'm sorry, I'm not on board. So there's this struggle going on inside you. And that's what this anxiety feeling is. And it's part of, like, I know you were saying like things are waking up for you, but they're at odds with this deeper seated set of beliefs. So that was a lot. I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear how that's landing and what you see in that.
Well, I definitely resonate with you saying that there's still judgment. Like, I left that, but there is a piece of me that judges that. And how do you untangle judgment? Like, I feel that, like, when you said that, I'm like, oh, that is true. How do I shift that within me?
Mm-hmm. Well, most judgment is a projection. So, what that means is that you're using that as a projection so that you don't have to look at where you're judging yourself.
Hmm.
So, when you think about it like that, where do you see that you're still judging yourself?
I don't know. Like, the answer doesn't come right up.
Yeah, and that's common, right? It's called a blank spot or a numb spot, where what happened is so deeply within us that our body's going to put up a numb spot so that it's another layer of protection. Because if you see it, then you might try to change it.
It's so crazy because all of a sudden I want to cough. I'm like, okay, so what's my throat chakra trying to tell me here?
Let it cough. Let it cough, yeah, and see what happens. Making me cough too.
Passing it along. I think I'm judging me because I'm not being honest.
Honest about what?
Just honest to them. Like I don't share what I don't think they want to hear. So I hide it, but it's not my truth. So that means when I show up, I never really show up because I'm leaving a piece of me. And I don't mean like be honest in the sense that I'm trying to teach them or change them, but I don't risk being totally honest with them about what I believe because of what I think, how they will judge it. So then I hold back.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing in that, right? What you think they are going to say is actually what you are thinking about it, because the words are in your head.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, oh, that is really good because I'm creating it all.
Mhm. We have no idea what they're thinking.
Right. Yeah.
So that, right, that's the belief. That's that deep rooted belief in there showing itself to you.
Mm. That's a really powerful thought that's just really powerful. I don't know what else to say, except that I can see that that is something that I will not just sit with, but meditate on and communicate with myself on, that I'm creating the dialogue for me and them.
Yeah, it could be really potent practice to write out those thoughts, right? And put them down on paper, see them in black and white, that this is like the misguided belief that still lives in you regarding what you're choosing for yourself today. And then rewrite that belief as the truth of what it is for you today. And it feels like there are a few of them in there, right? Like this is a very powerful place that we've tapped into. So giving yourself a little time to do some stream of conscious writing and let that all come out on the paper so that you can then pick it apart and see where that stops you, where that catches you.
Yeah. I can feel just even this conversation and that the energy is moving from my throat to my heart, but in a positive way, like opening, not a constricting way. My throat was feeling very constricted, but when I realized I've been writing the story, I've been creating both parts and then blaming them for the part I created for them.
It takes a lot of courage to say that and to know that and to see that.
Which means I've limited who they are. I've given them my view of them. Just like I want to speak for myself and tell my truth, I'm not letting them speak for themselves and tell their truth. Ooh,
Yeah, and pay real close attention there that you don't judge yourself for that, because that's the next layer. This is where we get it wrong. This is where we get to be messy. This is where there is no right choice. There's just what you see differently and what you choose to do differently with it.
I could already just feel how shifting how I hold that, how I think about that just shifts the energy around the relationships already. Even though I haven't even acted on it, I can already feel the lessening of the tension around some of the relationships in my life.
Well, that's because reality is made up by what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're willing to look at that belief and let it transform, you're changing the fabric of the reality that you live in. And I can feel like that part of you in the beginning that was so nervous, there's a settling there too. There's a like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That's what you're talking about. I can get on board with that. This is your body saying that.
Yeah, I can feel it. My whole body feels totally relaxed now compared to where I was. And part of it is just being in a conversation with a new person and not wanting to get it wrong, but it's that shift in perspective. I can just feel that it's settling into my body, changing how it feels to be in the body.
What would you like to do with that moving forward?
What I would like to see that do is to move me forward into a new conversation with a few individual people with more clarity on my part of what I was bringing to the creation of our relationship. If you think that somebody can't handle your truth, you're making them very small.
Yeah, it's in our willingness to be authentically ourselves that the deepest connection can be made. So they're telling me the words or showing me, right, that this place in you is connected to love, right, and your ability to be loved. And this part inside you that desperately, right, wants to be loved. And this is why you are hiding your authentic self. Yet at the same time, there's a part of you that is actually afraid of being loved. And I'm curious if you know this part at all or have any connection to it.
I mean, I'm very aware that not all the relationships in my life, but some of the main ones that were kind of pre-designed before birth, that love was controlled's not the right word. Love came with requirements. And so there's a piece of me that says, I would rather not be loved than to meet your requirements anymore. And so that's probably become a way of surviving on the planet is I don't want to negotiate to be able to get your love. So I just remove myself.
So there's a part in there, right, that still like is playing that out in other relationships. And we can see it threaded through this judgment piece too, right? That there's all this going on, talk in your head. The foundation for that belief is that if you put those people into a story of your own making, then you get to manage the requirements of love. It's on your terms because there's no space for those people to do anything outside of the story, the box, right? The container that you keep them in.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, it's on your terms. What's happening for you?
I'm just imagining going forward. And so I'm thinking of, I can see how wanting to be honest in this relationship and speaking my truth may change the relationship. And it still won't be the relationship that I'm willing to be in. And that's okay. And probably I just need to stop actually doing that because I'm writing the script still. I'm still creating it outside of my own head rather than just finding my truth and being my truth in the world and in my relationships and letting those things authentically evolve into the direction that is the next step for them. For them, I mean, for the relationship.
Yeah, there's a saying, quote that I love, and it says that I love you so much that you can think whatever you want of me because I love you. And for me, what it does is it just frees me from what other people might be thinking. It frees me to be me, be authentic, and that my experience of myself is not dictated by what you think of me or don't think of me or any of that. My responsibility is to me. Your responsibility is to you.
Mhm.
Where would you like to go from here on our call?
I don't know that I feel like I need to go anywhere. Like I feel like I have so much already that I want to explore on my own, not in a public way.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for speaking your truth.
Thank you for holding space for me.
Mm, you're welcome. Does this feel like an okay place to land today?
That does. I feel open and eager to change the part I'm playing in my creation with other people.
Yeah, this is freedom, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.